Howdy everyone. I have a quick question for you. If you've been running your business for a while, 3, 4, 5 years at least, I'm really curious. Have you ever felt like your business is actually a bank? I know, think about this for a second, because I'm going to tell you this happens so many times in businesses that we see, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about today. But if you've ever felt like you're a bank for other businesses and for your clients, do you know why you have that feeling? Here's what we see. So usually when we've got this situation in business, it is because clients are slow to pay. Now, hey, some industries, that's perfectly normal. Governmental contracting. If you're a small business working with a larger business like a corporation, you likely have a very long pay cycle, 30, 45, 90 days, sometimes 180 days if you're in construction, right? We see it. So sometimes that's normal. And that normality is actually the reason that gets businesses into trouble. Let me explain. We had one client where we came in and we were looking at the financials as part of what we do. And I was looking at their AR. Now, when you look at the AR, you can look at a report, right? It says 0, current, 30, 60, 90, and usually that 90 bucket. It is not just 90, it's everything above 90. So it could be 245 days old and you wouldn't know it because the report really only goes up to 90. And one of the things we'll do is we'll actually look at the details. What we're looking for is to see trends. Is this a normal course of action or has something snuck through and they are taking so long to pay? I bet you your client even has forgotten that they owe you that money. And that was this case. So we were challenging. We said, we know you have a long pay cycle. Totally get it. But when you look at the trends, when you look at the pattern of your invoices that are still open, there are some very old invoices here. And what's even crazier is if I go back and I look at all the invoices for a client, I see that there's an erratic paying behavior. That means it doesn't make sense. Why do you pay this one, not this one, this one, this one, not this one, right? What's the reasoning behind it? Because if it was purely days, purely about just have to wait 6 months for them to pay us, then every 6 month plus 1 day, you would see money, right? That's the logic. And we pushed back. We're like, no, something's not right here. And we went back and forth, and we showed the evidence, we showed the data, because we don't just say these things just because we feel them, right? We generally can prove them. And so the client said, that client has had 3 different billing systems in the last 3 years. Let me give them a call. Called their client, the end client, were paid within 24 or 48 hours because, sure enough, the client wasn't aware that these invoices had not been paid. When you carry AR on your books as a small business, you are effectively giving terms to your end client. Now, like I said, maybe that's just normal course of business. If so, there are cash flow strategies that can make that work for you, for sure. But for a lot of businesses, you don't even have the cash flow strategy to make it work. So you're constantly stuck in this feast and famine issue in your business where you're struggling to make payroll, even though you may have $500,000 sitting on your AR. The problem is it's not sitting in your bank. And so we have to be considerate about this. Like, as a small business owner, you have to be aware and you have to have maybe processes in place to promote payment. That is the number one key. You have to be able to promote payment, even in situations to where a long pay cycle may be normal. Listen, this is just one of those little ways that money seeps out of your business because chances are you're not earning interest on this money. You've just essentially lent it out for free with absolutely no compelling reason for somebody to pay you first when they get the money. So we have to think about these things and consider this, the fact that for whatever business you're in, and we see all industries, all different types of businesses, all different types of models. I know this proves to be true no matter who you are and what you do. You can't afford to be a bank unless you are, of course, a bank. So think about that. If you're looking at your cash flow, wondering how you can be doing all this stuff and not getting money in the bank, this might be a reason why. Listen, my name is Leslie Hassler. I'm with Your Biz Rules. We're a fractional C-suite firm for firms that need the leadership but can't afford all those hires. And especially if you're growing and scaling, cash flow management should be one of your top priorities to be able to afford the growth and scalability. And we help with that. But listen, you want to know more about this, then check out our LinkedIn newsletter. We're going to go a little bit deeper into cash flow management and why you can't afford to be a bank. So that's it for today, guys. I'll talk to you soon. And until then, have a good one.